Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's season 10, episode 11, and today it's the final game of the season as we face Lyon in the Europa League Final. We come in face to face with Rafa Benitez and hopefully we'll finally be able to secure a trophy this season. After winning the Carabao Cup last year and getting so many semis and finals this season, we thought we'd have another one in the bag by now, but unfortunately it's not the case and we really need this one to increase our reputation to give us a choice of jobs over the summer. Stick around after the game too, as we'll do our usual end of season review before starting a massive summer job hunt as we desperately try and move on to a club that will support us. Newcastle haven't got Mike Ashley here anymore, but they're still not backing us in the transfer window, and we're certainly not going to get any closer to the top, so we need to move while things are still going well. There are a number of options on the job centre screen, or a number of potential options I should say, so we'll go and have a look at those after the game too, but for now we're focused entirely on the Europa League Final. We got to the final last year, of course, where we faced Bayern Munich. I'll put a link in the eye above to that one, so you can go back and check out that final, and then see how much we progressed this year, where we faced Lyon, who are perhaps a slightly weaker side, but are still littered with world-class talent. So let's go and get straight into the game. There's been no action off camera, as we've shown you all of the last 3 games of the season, though we have got a bit of a problem today. Oliveira's still out with his hamstring pull, and then Andre Hayek's not registered for the competition as we didn't have enough homegrown players. So let's see who the favourites are. Apparently it's us, which is a little bit worrying. Lyon haven't won in 4. We obviously lost our last game. You all saw that one on camera. And now we're over to Belgrade in Serbia to play the final of the Europa League. Hopefully it'll be second time lucky in this one. If we go and look at the lineup though, you can start to see where the problems are. I'm a little bit torn on what to do today. We've got a lot of our first team players who are tired and struggling for fitness, but they've done so well for us this year. The relationships and partnerships between some of the new players and the existing ones aren't quite as good on the pitch yet, but I don't know whether I play them because they're 100% fit, or do I stick with the tried and trusted for the year? I think I'm going to stick to the tried and trusted, although I'm sure I may regret it. The only one I'm really not sure of at the moment is Pedro at right back for Gomez and Leonardo for Billy Gilmore. In those two positions it's replacing players with like-for-like ability. Brian Barrett's certainly coming back in as we've really struggled to fill his boots when he was out. I would have changed Ranzan for Oliveira. Unfortunately he's not fit though, and perhaps most importantly Machilov keeps his place in goal. David Raya remains out of the squad. We're not going with a sub-keeper today either, as I really want an extra option, although I've just noticed the Europa League Final is 12 substitutes. I forgot that last year as well, so let's go and have a look in the under-23s just to see if we've got anyone else who can fill it. Is Nigel Stone back to fitness yet? He could go on the bench for this one. It doesn't look like he is, to be honest, so unfortunately he's not going to be able to. Let's just go and see literally who the best two are, as they're not going to get on the pitch. The best one in terms of current ability, Kerwin Houston, who made 1 appearance in the Europa League. He is just about match fit, so he'll be on the bench. And then for the other one, we're going to pick Cartwright, who's a right midfielder, just because he's the only one who isn't a striker. So that leaves us with a fairly familiar lineup, but lots of players that could come on from the bench. Yanderson's become a world-class player at centre-half, but aside from that, it's a relatively average team, and it could go either way in this one. We've got Machilov in goal, Lewis and Gomez are the fullbacks, with Konza and Yanderson in the middle. On the odd chance that we are still here next year and we aren't able to get a big move, we are going to be replacing a lot of the experienced pros and trying to rejuvenate this team with young players. We've got Douglas Luiz in his Segundo Volante role, Billy Gilmore in the middle, and then Arzani, Ranzan and Barrett, the 3-man creative force behind Florentin Bernard up front. So we'll review our season and look at where the changes might be for next year at the end of the episode, but obviously we want to go on a job hunt, and that's only going to be aided by winning this game today. I'm really optimistic that we can finally win a trophy. Of all the finals we played in the last few years, despite having world-class talent, Lyon are probably still the weakest opponent, so fingers crossed we can do something, though Rafa Benitez is a European genius. Let's get into the game and see if we can get a result. It's a 4-2-3-1 for Lyon, Christian Eriksen in attacking midfield, loads of strong regens and loads of good players from real life, so it's going to be a tough test for us today. We've got a normal 11 out, so we can't be too surprised by that, and we want to tell the lads to prove a point, show them that we're born winners. A few of them are seeming motivated, and most of the rest are listening keenly. The one thing I find really strange about the conditioning, as we get into the first half, is we did rest almost all of the team for 2 days from training after that FA Cup final at the weekend. It was 4 days ago as well, so it's not like it's a 2 or 3 day turnaround. Maybe it's just because it was such a big final, and because City kept the ball so well, we were chasing shadows for most of the game. Bernard has an early chance from a corner, it's back to Douglas Luiz, 2 or 3 blocks by Leon, and that was a brilliant chance to get off the mark. We've started this game like a house on fire. 5 shots and 2 on target, over 70% possession, but with 15 minutes gone, that counts for nothing, as it still remains 0-0. And now Leon are coming forward for the first time in the match. What an awful time it would be to concede, and it nearly was the case, as a long-range effort goes just wide of the post. It's still goalless, but we've been the better side, but now Leon are starting to get on top. We're seeing another highlight now with Eriksson. He gets it out to the right-hand side, crosses in, it's an easy save for Machalov, as it's headed straight into his arms. We're coming forward again with Douglas Luiz. We seem to be getting into it now. Here's Arzani on the byline, crosses into Barrett, great first touch, and a brilliant save. You just wonder if a match-fit Barrett would have possibly tucked that away with more composure. We've got the 5th official behind the line as well, as Barrett tries to get up for the corner. Janderson heads it back to Arzani, but he was in an offside position. It's still 0-0, but we're doing quite well, though again we could regret not taking these chances. It's happened so many times before, fingers crossed it won't be the case today. Here's Lirola at right back. He gives it away to Jamal Lewis, who in turn gives it straight back to Leon. They've got it at right back again. Now it's Kucho on the right wing. He goes back to Lirola. They're keeping the ball, but they can't get out of the back end of the pitch, and hopefully we'll be able to press high and win the ball. Eriksson's got it in the middle now though. He goes back to Diakate, but he gives it away to Konza, and now Douglas Luiz has the ball. He gets it to the right hand side for Arzani. Back to Gomez, the right back. Can we finally get an opening goal? We deserve it based on the first 20 minutes, and if we don't get it soon we may regret it. Ranzan into Barrett. He shoots. It's a brilliant save by the keeper. Right across his line to tip it wide. That's unbelievable goalkeeping. Arzani delivers the second time. Janderson heads it in with a free header, and he's straight into the arms of the keeper, who's keeping Leon in the game single-handedly. Nearly half an hour gone. We've got another corner with Arzani. Headed up more than away to Gilmore. He shoots and blazes it over the bar. How are we not ahead yet? We're nearly at double figures for shots in this match. 10 minutes to the break and it's still goalless, and I just know that we're going to end up regretting this. Half time, it's 0-0, we've been the better side, but we've not been able to find a breakthrough. We're going to talk to the lads and just tell them to prove a point again. We're going to say it passionately this time, as that's what Mikel Antia wants. Most of the lads again are motivated or passionate, so let's see if they perform again in the second half. We've got to worry about tired legs as well. Brian Barrett's got almost no chance of making 90 minutes, even though it's not one of the positions we'd like to replace, and we've got a few players who aren't quite motivated yet, so we might have to think about taking them off too. But a quiet start to the second half. Ezri Konsa gets his 10th yellow of the season, and now Leon are coming forward at left back as they switch the ball to the right back. Here he is on the edge of the box, finds Kucho, brilliant save Machalov, the second one's blocked by Lewis. Both keepers have made some unbelievable saves in this one, although that's probably the first great save from Machalov. Eriksson with the corner, Luiz heads away, and Diakate recycles possession, though he's forced backwards 30 yards out on the left. He goes back into his own half, the highlight ends, and that's really good pressing from the lads to keep us away from danger. We're going to regret not scoring in the first half, as Leon have started this second period better. We've told Konsa to ease off the tackles, and we'll start to think about subs in a minute. An hour gone, it's Gilmore with an out-swinging corner, headed away again but only as far as Konsa. He finds Gilmore on that right wing again, into the front post. It's a poor delivery, but it's only cleared as far as Janderson. He gives it to Konsa, back to Janderson again. Can we start to move forward as we go back again to Gomez? He switches it to Jamal Lewis, and now we've got a man over on the left. He goes all the way to the byline into Bernard, another brilliant save by the keeper, unbelievable tip over the bar, and it's going to be an in-swinging delivery from Arzani. Can we finally get the breakthrough? It's headed away again by the left back, and we've got a second corner in succession from that side. Arzani to swing it in again. Can we finally take the lead? Please, I need to relief. But it's headed away, and now they're coming forward on the counter. This would be a terrible way to concede. It's Kucho with the ball, and Kovalenko's there, and he's unmarked at the back post, but Machalov makes a good save this time. A tale of two brilliant keepers, although their one's been slightly better. He's made a string of world-class saves, whereas Machalov's just made two. He comes and claims the corner well, though confident keeping. 20 to go, and I don't know who to take off, as they've all been playing pretty brilliantly. The only one is possibly Brian Barrett, but we don't have another option. Arzani delivers, he's headed in. Ezri Konsa with the goal. One of the men pre-match we talked about replacing next year, but he's going to make himself a hero before that point. We lead in the Europa League Final, and with 20 minutes to go, we're going to bring on some fresh legs. Billy Gilmore in the middle's had a good game, but he's a little bit tired, so we'll keep an eye on him, but he's not going to be the first man off. That's going to be Brian Barrett. We've just got an option of who we bring on the left. We can do Mason Greenwood as an inside forward and keep the tactic exactly the same, or we can bring on Rene Bazan in that role and drop Jamal Lewis to a support duty. So I think we've got to think like Rafa. We've got to be a tactical manager. He's managing Lyon against his former club. He'd be doing the same if he was ahead. So let's drop everyone to a support duty, and fingers crossed they'll do that well. I just want to see who's got the better defensive attributes, because we could even switch in with Jamal Lewis if we wanted to. I'm not sure who's the better defender of the two. I think it is Jamal Lewis. So we're going to leave him there, rely on Bazan's brilliant crossing attribute, and fingers crossed he'll create another chance just to try and see out the game. 15 to go, we'll make another sub in a minute, but as it stands we're going to win the Europa League. 10 minutes left, it's time for another sub I think. We've got Arzani knackered on the right and Gilmore in the middle. We're just going to make one of them at a time. So first is going to be Billy Gilmore, as he's a more defensive player and we need that engine in the middle of the pitch. Leonardo's going to come on for him. He's got a slightly better star rating anyway, and we're just going to make sure he keeps possession well and sees out the last few minutes. Let's get back into the game with that one made. We're going to drop down to a balanced mentality as well. Jamal Lewis has a throw on the left. Can we just wrap the game up and make it a nice comfortable finish? Lewis crosses for Bernard. Oh, I thought the keeper had saved it again. It's just wide of the post in the end and we miss another golden chance to wrap the game up. Here's Janderson at the back. He goes all the way to the keeper Machilov. He's surging forward and lays it to Konza. I thought he was going to get himself in trouble there. Out to Bazan on the left hand side. He comes forward to the edge of the box. He's completely unopposed and shoots, but it's just over the bar. We're going to go to our team instructions now and time waste all the time. We're also going to slow the pace down in possession and we're going to leave it at that for the next couple of minutes. We'll just see if we can see it out comfortably. We're going to make our last change as well. Arzani's going to be replaced by Adriano Lavinas and he'll go to a winger on support. We just want to keep that structure out wide. We may even drop the two wingers back in a minute, but let's just see out the last couple of seconds and see how many minutes will be added on. Christian Eriksen crosses from the right. It's deflected behind for a corner, and now it really is nervy at the back for us as Konza's brilliant to head away. It's out to Eriksen again though. He's going to deliver into the middle. It's blocked by the winger. I'm not sure who it was, but Zam was the man who got out there, and Eriksen's got another chance to deliver. It's in towards Janderson, who heads away brilliantly, and now Lavinas can counter. He's charging down the left. Can he get the second goal? He would be a hero, but he's been forced backwards in the end and challenged by the right back Lirola. It's out for 4 minutes of stoppage time. We've got a throw on the left hand side, and we really need to think about our tactic now just to try and see out the game. We're going to drop Rene Bazan back and Lavinas as well and just leave our shape like this for the moment to try and make sure we see out the game. We're going to go a bit more drastic as well, a cautious mentality for the last 4. Let's see what else we can do in possession, hold our shape and regroup. Our tempo's going to go down slightly too, a lower tempo which is more natural for this tactic, and we're going to be more disciplined as well. Let's get back into the game and see the last few seconds out. Fingers crossed we can get our hands on the title. After a heartbreaking 1-0 defeat last year, it would be brilliant to win by the same margin this time. Don't get me wrong, I would have loved a second, and now Collar's coming forward on the left. Leonardo in the right place to mop up. Just 30 seconds to go, just keep the ball, son, and he wins the throw brilliantly, and now we're going to go very defensive. Surely we can waste enough time with this one. Janderson's been put over to take it. Why the centre-half's going out of position, I don't know, but he's taken as long as possible. The whistle goes when he throws it in. We have won the Europa League, our second trophy of the series, and what a wonderful title to win. The Carabao Cup last year, and if this is our last game at Newcastle, a European title to finish our time here. Second time lucky, 2 finals in a row, and an unbelievable performance with an Ezri Konsa winner. Let's go and talk to the lads and tell them it was excellent. The pink and grey suit made another appearance. They've all gained confidence and they'll go on their summer break happy, and it's well deserved after some brilliant success. We had disappointment in the final weeks of the Premier League season, disappointment in the FA Cup final, losing out on penalties in the Carabao Cup semi, but it's all worthwhile now as we win the Europa League. Let's have the confirmation on the screen there. Ezri Konsa, what a wonderful man, a hero in both saves, and he scored the winner with a thumping header to make sure we lifted a European title. Brilliant work from him. United receive a bonus involving Andrew Edwards. It's fair enough as he played all the group stage games. There's the confirmation again. We'll deal with the press conference off camera. Almost £8 million in the bank. Hopefully us or the new manager will see that, and the director of football will get to improve the squad. We're getting praise from former players, praise from the board. We've got warnings about fitness, but they're all going on holiday now, so we don't need to worry about that. Another 9 million in TV revenue, and Ezri Konsa is going to get all the praise in the world. He was absolutely fantastic, as were the rest of the team. But we won the Europa League, and that's the most important thing of today. We really thought we had a risk of going trophyless after losing in so many semis and finals this year, but we've got over the line in the most important one. European glory will surely make us look more attractive to continental teams. I want to quickly go and have a look at the reputation to see if that's affected our profile at all. We have moved up from 3.5 stars to almost 4, and we've now got a very good reputation as well as a continental licence. Surely that will make us more attractive. Let's go to the squad and do a quick season review before we go and look at the job centre as we round off what's been a quite brilliant season, but still hopefully our last at Newcastle. They're not backing us in the transfer market, and we're not going to be able to take them further than this. A wonderful night to leave them on though, and hopefully the fans will let us leave with their blessing. Although we've been here before and said this and not been able to get a move, but I really feel that trophy's going to make the world a difference. Let's go into selection info order, bring back the unavailable players just in case anyone was missing out. If we put them in appearance order, Ezri Konsa is top of the list. How fitting is that? 58 appearances including 53 starts. He's almost 10 clear of anyone else. Not bad for a 30-year-old defender. Florentin Bernard's not far behind him, and then the usual suspects Gomez, Luiz, Lewis and Gilmore, and Brian Barrett's up there as well. Anderson's been a brilliant performer at centre half. Arzani and Raya are up there too, although Raya disappointed towards the end of the year and cost us yet another trophy. If we put them in goals order now, Florentin Bernard's well clear on 24, although he didn't get a crucial one in the final. Konsa got just 3 goals this year, but one of them was the most important, so I'm absolutely delighted for him. A lot of midfield contribution as well this season though. Oliveira 13, Luiz 14, including a few penalties to be fair, and Brian Barrett with 16 from the left. He's been a superstar this season. The sub-striker Bernard Martin got 12 as well. I'm sure he'll be a star in future years for the club. Greenwood and Arzani with 9 apiece, and Lavinas with 7. Plenty of others on 5 or 6. Loads of players have contributed this year. In terms of assists, we've got 3 in double figures, as well as Jamal Lewis down on 8. So Gilmore with 10, Lavinas 12, and Arzani with 13. All brilliant contributions again. I'm just delighted and relieved to have won the final. I'll praise anyone at the moment, even David Raya who made the mistakes, and you can see from the average rating which we're about to go into, Valdir Ranzan's been the one disappointment of the season. He was involved in the winning final, so no complaints, but there's definitely something wrong there, as he's playing in the same position and role as Oliveira and not performing to the same capacity at all. Arzani's got the best rating for the season, which isn't a huge surprise, but in second place it's Anderson, who's become an absolutely world-class centre-half. He's worth 50 million on 180 grand a week, and with 4.5 star ability, he's an absolute powerhouse. If I do end up at one of Europe's elite, I'll be hoping our director of football signs him, as I think he's one of the best centre-halves in the world, and I'd love to have him at every club. The rest of the players have contributed too, the likes of Bazan and Hayek, new signings who have come in and got good ratings, and Mafloufi's done well too. He'll be replacing Konsa in the first team next year, although of course I can only confirm that if I'm still here. So big praise to all of our heroes on screen. A brilliant season which ended in success after it looked like it was going to be another dramatic failure at the final attempt in every trophy. But if we go and look at the job centre just to see what's available at the moment, if I take you to the top, you already know about the United one. We've applied for that role because they're a powerhouse club. They've got 2 of the best strikers in world football and they should be winning Premier League and Champions League titles. We haven't applied for the Liverpool one, even though they've got a half-star reputation on Newcastle, just because they've got such an ageing squad. If we go in and have a look at it, almost half of the team's 29 and over, and many of them are up towards the mid-30s now, so I don't think that's a good move for us. Having said that, there's plenty of other opportunities that may be on the horizon. The Napoli job in Serie A, that's very insecure at the moment, and then in the insecure category we've got Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, and Celtic as well, who have the same reputation as Newcastle. They finished second in the Premiership, and Rangers finished third, so who was first there? We'll obviously have our 10-year in the future episode in the next one, but I'm just wondering who won it. Aberdeen are the title holders there, so Celtic could be a good job for us. Are there any other big ones there? I don't think so at the moment, but it looks like there may be some choice in the summer. Fingers crossed that Europa League win can help us get a new job, and we'll be at one of these brilliant new clubs next season. But before we have that episode, we've obviously got our 10 years in the future review. We'll wait for the Champions League final to be played, and then we'll be back with our 10-year in the future episode episode, just as we did in our other story with Torquay. If we move to some of the other big leagues in Europe, we need to know who's up there and competing, so it's a good way to find that out as well. And we'll have a good look at the English pyramid too, as well as all of our former clubs. Don't forget the main aim of this series is to get as high as we can and win as many trophies as we can, and all of the clubs we've been at so far, possibly bar Hemel Hempstead and Dungannon, have helped us on our way to that, so we will reflect on our successes with them too and just see how they're getting on at the moment. We did the same in our 5-year review, so if you haven't seen the format yet, you can go back and check that one out, and then we'll have a similar episode in a couple of days' time with the 10 years in the future episode from the head coach. But if you did enjoy this episode and us finally getting a trophy on the board this season, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know who you think's been the best player at Newcastle, who's been the superstar over the 3 or so years we've been here. There's the confirmation on the screen we won the big one after our Carabao Cup success last year, and hopefully we'll be a Newcastle hero if we do end up leaving during the summer. As we mentioned a moment ago, the next episode will be the 10 years in the future review, so keep your eyes peeled for that one, and then the episode after that will be the start of season 11, where hopefully we'll have a big job offer to tell you about. If we'll be meeting a new team and players, then that would be great, but we've been hopeful of that before and then been left at Newcastle. The board clearly aren't going to back us, they keep expecting miracles, so we don't want to stick around here too long as we can't maintain this level of success. We've got a squad that's getting older now and it's going to get more difficult, so we've got to get out before this harms our reputation. But it has been increased by that Europa League win, so hopefully that will stand us in good stead this summer. Let me know if you want to be bold and predict what club we're going to end up at. It may not even be one that's insecure at the minute. If another manager leaves to take one of those roles, we could end up with another job entirely. So fingers crossed we'll be able to get one. But please do subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from this story, the head coach, and our other series, part of the furniture with Torquay United, the one club challenge where we tried to take them from the lowest playable league to the top of English and European football. There's also weekly content from my snooker 19 career. That's every Friday at 4:30, and then from the end of the month we've got content from Cricket 19. You'll see loads of that on the channel at the end of this month and start of June. But a massive thanks for watching and your continued support with the series. I really do appreciate you following along with another season, and I hope it was all worthwhile as we won a trophy at the end. It certainly was for me. But a big thanks again, and we'll see you next time as we complete our 10 years in the future review.